All right, welcome back to Go Ham. Today we are going to be diving into all things difficult client situations, which was requested from one of our followers. So thank you for that. If you could just click subscribe, click like, share with anybody that you think would find value here. It's just an easy way to support us and allows us to keep doing what we're doing. So with that, let's get into it.
I'm looking forward to this episode.
Oh, gosh.
I feel like we have probably more stories than we would like to admit to tell.
I'm actually happy that I don't remember a lot of them.
I know. I'm like, don't you remember this one? Don't you remember this one?
Oh my God, everything's a blur to me. There's certain ones that stand out, like the gypsies, but other than that, I have a really hard time.
I mean, we've dealt with a lot, right? We've dealt with people that left not wanting to pay. We've dealt with people who have come in drunk and kept drinking, and the team was put in weird situations.
Yeah.
We had a man pull his pants down to show a tattoo on his leg. Yeah. Like we've dealt
seen
with
it all.
A lot, but again, yeah, every situation we've learned from. So we're happy to share with you some of those details. So with that, let's get into probably the number one issue when it comes to clients and salons is people who have unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Like people show up. This is that client that shows up with the Pinterest picture of a platinum blonde and they're a level 3 with 7 years worth of box dye.
Mm-hmm.
And
they look like Kim Kardashian and they want to be like Pamela Anderson on Baywatch.
Yep. How to navigate that.
Yeah. Well, it's the stylist's duty to like let them know like, hey, this ain't going to happen today. But I feel like a lot of times our stylists do that and then they're still unhappy with the results and like want to come back in the next week to get their hair rehighlighted even though it's about to break off. It sucks for us when stylists don't communicate that, I think, and we're kind of like stuck in a position where we're like, okay, like you came in for the service, the stylist knew it wasn't going to happen, and then we're stuck with either like having to refund them, having to have them come back in and get their hair redone. So what advice can we give the people?
Well, hold on, before we get into that, what other unrealistic expectations were we thinking? Because I feel like there was definitely some other ones besides just trying to go from dark to platinum blonde.
I think like updos are a big one. When people come in with like pictures of like these luscious updos and they have like 3 hairs on their head. Like I remember when we were doing bridal work, that was like a big problem that I used to run into. Not just me. Like I feel like sometimes I would have to help out like younger stylists because they couldn't figure out like how to get the volume or whatever.
Yeah, and they don't want to put the extensions in their hair.
Yeah, or even like blowouts. Like when they come in for a blowout and this person has like layers and the person in your chair has one length hair with no layers and they want like this voluminous blowout. Like it's probably not going to happen.
Well, I think that it sucks because it's basically the nature of the game for all of us being women that we want what we don't have, right? Like, I feel like I have had clients over the years who I saw for 10 years straight, and every appointment they would show up with this picture, and I'm like, Jane, you don't have this hair. Like, you have fine hair, and they can't understand that. A lot of people just don't get that, I love this picture. I love this picture. And all of the pictures they show are typically somebody with a different hair texture or it's something that isn't them. And it's hard for them to understand that, this is not a realistic expectation.
Or it's like a picture of them like 10 years ago when they had like double the amount of hair, which like is sad, but
What about also the people, and I can vouch that I've done this before, where like I bring a picture in and I show a stylist and she nails it. But in my head, I'm like, it doesn't look anything like that. And then everyone else is like, no, you have that hair. Like, your color is very similar. Like, it's pretty much that. But, like, I think it's your own perception and perspective that gets in the way, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we should use you, Head, because I feel like you're a good example right now. Like, just with the challenges that you've dealt with your hair in the past few years.
I'm still dealing with it.
Yeah, even yesterday, I'm, like, doing your hair, and you're like, I should get her color. And I'm like, you have her color. Like,
well, that's what made me think of it, because I'm like, I don't see that. Like, she sees it, but I look at this picture and I'm like, I don't. But I'm like, am I just looking at like how put together she is? Like, her makeup's perfect, her hair's perfect, everything's perfect on her, and I'm like, yeah, I'm far from perfect.
So what? Clients who have the result but like think that they don't.
Yes, like they're like not delusional. Like, I don't want to.
Delulu.
Yeah, I don't want to like discredit people in that sense and make them think they're crazy. But like for me, I feel like I'm crazy because like I look at something and like everyone will be like, oh my God, it's the exact same thing. Like, they nailed it. They nailed it. They did a great job. And I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, is it my hair, or is it just like I'm not feeling like
The way that it looks on you.
yes, like I was expecting more from it. Like,
Well,
I was not the look wise, but maybe it would make me feel different. Like, and it just doesn't.
Well,
It's
I mean,
just a
think
look.
about the girl Jess that we were looking at yesterday. The picture that we were looking at, she had extensions down to here.
I know. No, they were down to her hips.
And this is what, like, you don't have that hair, nor do you want that hair. So it's hard for you to.
I don't know. I'm actually considering that.
Okay, cool. But basically, I think, like, you're looking at her color where she has hip length hair, and you're like, I want that color. And I'm like, well, your hair's really close to that. And you're like, well, it's not. But it's not, because her hair's down to here and your hair's up to here. Like, it's different. But I think that there's definitely issues when it comes to people's expectations. And I think just them understanding that the picture that you're showing, we're not going to get there. And I think that stylists a lot of times don't have the confidence to deliver that message. And I know I didn't.
Or they realize it too late. Like, I should have told her, like, that was, because let's be real, extensions like make or break a look. Like, it can totally transform the way a color looks. Like you said, like, you have the same color, but it looks totally different because she has extensions. 9 times out of 10, like, these social media transformations, they put like 24-inch extension rows in their head, and they get their color done, and they think it's just color, and it's not.
Yeah.
So it's like they realize after the fact, oh God, I should have mentioned that. Like, that wasn't real hair, it's extensions, which changes things.
Well, on the flip side of what you're saying, like, you were just, Monica was just saying how, like, sometimes they bring a picture in and, like, you're not going to achieve it, and they just need to realize that. But then there's, on the other side, I'm trying to say, like, they do achieve it, but you just don't see it, because I feel like it's your own perspective that gets in the way, and that's me. Like, I'm my biggest critic. There's no one out there that can criticize me more than I criticize myself. So it's like, when someone's like, your hair is exactly in that picture, and I'm like, I could tell you 10 things why I don't think it is. But that's just, how it goes.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, like, when you have a guest that comes in and they're just, like, completely unhappy with their results. Like, how are we handling it? What are we doing?
So this is up there too. This is the other massive issue that I think we deal with as salon owners and stylists in general, is when people are unhappy. And I think it goes a lot of different ways, and every situation is different. And you have to kind of look at it that way. It's not a black and white thing where, Jane didn't like her hair. And, what Jane didn't like about her hair is very different than what somebody else did. So you have to really pay attention to what happened there. A lot of times for us, we find it's a mishap in the consultation. You know, like that's the most often is it something along the lines that we missed in the consultation. And maybe we weren't clear about the expectation, or maybe that was a formulation that we did wrong. Or when we discussed the length, somebody said, I want an inch off. And we all know an inch can either be this or an inch could be this, depending upon who you're talking to.
I know. I love that thing. We actually did it, but you see it on TikTok a lot when they're like, show me 4 inches. And they like pull it. And I'm like, God, I did not think that was 4 inches. I would have went way bigger. Like,
Well, it's interesting because there's different cultures that talk about inches in different ways. Like, I've had clients come in and say, I want 3 fingers, meaning this. That's how much they wanted. Or I want 2 fingers or 4 fingers. And I'm like, God, it's so interesting that, like, that's how people gauge length.
Smart as shit.
I know, right?
Well, we were just looking.
She's a doctor, so.
We were just looking for flooring, and Andrew's like measuring floors by his foot, because he knows, like, I guess how many inches or whatever his foot is. I think his foot's close to a foot. But anyway, so he's like measuring, like, walking around like this, and then it was funny because the guy in the store that worked there, he came over and Andrew's like, I need to see what 6 inches is or something. He's like, do you have a ruler? And no one had a ruler, but the guy pulled out a $1 bill. He's like, a $1 bill is exactly 6 inches.
Wow.
And Andrew's like, how did I not know that? Like, I'm 41 years old. How did I not know that a $1 bill is 6 inches? So then, of course, he's pulling out his $1 bill and measuring it, and it was pretty spot on. So
that's interesting.
Interesting.
So I think when it comes to redos, like, what are the things that we do? Like, how do we handle them? Because there's 2 parts to it.
So when the call comes
there's 3
in,
really.
Who's
there's the
taking that
client,
call?
there's the salon owner, and then there's the stylist. And, like, how are we handling that?
Yeah.
And
there's
sometimes
also
it's not
like
always a call. They're up at the front desk and they want immediate attention right then and there.
There's also like levels of like the escalation too. Like sometimes clients are cool with like coming back in, and then sometimes they're like, no, like I want to see someone else. Like this is unacceptable. Like,
I mean, we either get cool, calm, and collected. Hey, I
Yeah.
wasn't happy. I'm happy to go back to whoever it was.
Right.
Or we get, I wasn't happy and I'm not comfortable going back to that person. I want to go to someone else. Or we get, I'm not happy. I'm not interested in coming back to your salon and I want a refund.
Right.
And like those are the three situations.
Yeah.
So like let's talk through it. Like typically what we do is when we do have a redo that's comfortable going back to that person, which is usually what we try to encourage, that's easy, right? Like they come back in and most times we're able to rectify the situation and they're happy leaving that second time. If it's a situation where they don't want to see that person and they want to go to someone else, and there's definitely times where that's necessary, I feel. Something we've recently kind of figured out that if it is a situation where we really missed the mark, we typically have them see a higher stylist that has more education and more experience and is able to make sure that they're gonna hit the mark on that second visit back.
Sometimes they don't even want to return to that location, which because they're embarrassed or feel uncomfortable, which sucks. But like, what are you going to do?
Yep.
You're trying to save a client, so.
And then the last one is the situation where they want to leave and they want a refund. And this is where it gets a little sketchy. And I feel like for us, the rule of thumb typically is that if somebody requests a refund, and we do have a no refund policy, which we do break at times, but basically if they want a refund, that's basically the signature on you're no longer welcome back in our company.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens. So like if that's the case and you want to be refunded for your service, that's fine. We're going to do that, but you're no longer welcome at any of our companies. And I can't say that, I mean, that might be something where in 3 years from now, we're like, I can't believe we did that. Like, I don't know what that's going to look like, but right now that feels right. But that's basically how we go about it. Now, there's times where the stylist, we have to refund somebody and the stylists are pissed off that we refunded them. And there's times where we have to come out of pocket and cover the cost. And, or there's times where we don't. And it's on the stylist and like, listen, like you didn't communicate clearly in the consultation, or there were some things that we missed. Like that's not all our fault. That's, you're a part of that.
Yeah.
So I think that, I think that these types of situations are really difficult, but they're also very much like they are not black and white. And to the internet trolls out there who try to tell you that they're very misinformed, in my opinion.
Do we want to get into the fun stuff? The disrespectful Karens out there who think that they live on a pedestal, and
Yeah, let's do
this
it.
doesn't happen often. Luckily, I don't
I've
feel
gotten my
but-
ass beat verbally so bad. Like I can remember, oh my gosh, I can remember several times, but like I had some dude call me. He like called the salon, threatening the salon that, you better have Monica call me. I know her. And I'm like,
Oh, I remember that one.
oh boy.
I mean,
And-
but let's talk about, I think
like-
there's times where clients like have more confidence when they're not talking to an owner. Has that happened to you guys where you get like, oh, this client called me and they said this, this, and this? Like I had a client tell my front desk associate that they were going to like start a smear campaign against the salon. And then like when I wound up talking to her, she was like sweet as pie.
every time.
Yeah.
Like 98% of the time, the experience that I get as the owner is different than the way that the front desk or a manager is getting. And I think that's wrong. That sucks.
But I feel like it even happens with like apprentices and stylists where like the apprentice would be like, God, she's so mean. And we're like, what? Like, no, she's not. She's the best.
I don't know though. I've had an experience with like one person in particular. I can remember like when I called her, she came at me hot. Like she was pissed and she gave it to me. And I sat there and I listened to her and I let her talk. And I think she was waiting for me to respond the way she was responding to me. And when I didn't and I stayed calm and I had a very like calming voice and like, I'm here to fix this. Like, I'm not here to fight and argue with you or deny it. Like, she changed her tone in a split second.
Yeah, that's
Like,
key,
completely
for
split
sure.
second.
It is. And a lot of times that's it. They're frustrated. They're upset. They spent a lot of money. They had an expectation, and we missed the mark somehow or whatever happened. And they call really heated. And then by the end of it, they're calmed down because I think the way we handle business is we stay professional, we stay calm. And even in the shittiest scenarios where they are coming at us really aggressively, like we're just staying calm for the most part. And I'm not going to fight and argue with someone who can't be won over, like
Yeah.
there's just no point to do that. So that's fine. If you want to scream and yell at me and tell me how awful our business is or whatever the case may be, that's fine. But I would say 99% of the time we're able to save them. I honestly think that we're able to even get them back in most of the time.
Yeah.
Like even when they are like firm, and I'm going to talk about a recent situation that we dealt with where she was very firm. I'm leaving. I'm going to your competitor. I have no interest in bringing my business back, blah, blah, blah. And we somehow made that right. And she did come back, and, she's a loyal client, and I think we will have a successful relationship with her moving forward. But that's because we stayed calm. We acknowledged what our faults were. And, she had some wrongdoings as well. But for us, we were very accountable. And I think that that's something that we're big on. Like, we're not always right. And we're able to find what we might have done wrong, whether that was a consultation miss, or a performance miss or a formulation miss, anything. But we always find, the area in this experience that we could have improved, and we pay close attention to that moving forward. And I think that served us really well.
Always goes back to the LEARN acronym. It's L for listen, E for empathy, A for acknowledge, R for rectify, and N for notify. So notify your managers of what went down. But I think at the end of the day, they just want to be heard. You know what I mean? And they don't want, they go in thinking that they're going to get pushback, and when they don't, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people out there, I think, are surprised that there is a redo policy, or that that's even an option. They don't even think? I don't know. I kind of do. I think as a consumer, yeah, you probably think there's a chance they're going to fight me on this.
Yeah.
If you're not somebody who has done that before.
I also feel like people that do call and they're want to give you feedback and stuff. Like, for instance, for me, I'm typically not a complainer. Like, if I go somewhere, if I go to a restaurant and I don't I have issues with the restaurant, I typically just won't go back. I won't even do it. I don't waste my time with reviews. There's a million other restaurants to go to. But one incident just happened to me a couple weeks ago. I was in a restaurant that I actually love. I've had nothing but great experiences there. This one time I went and they dropped the ball 5 different times. It was bad. And I slept on it a few days because I just was aggravated. Our bill was close to $1,000. We had 8 people with us, and I just was I can't let this go. It's eating at me that, I love this restaurant. They always perform so well and bring it, I brought people there because I was so, I wanted to brag and be this restaurant's amazing. You got to try the food, the service, everything. And I did. I ended up calling. I wasn't going to write a review. I hate reviews like that. So I called, and they surprised me because I wanted to just send an email to the manager and just give them a heads up, hey, this was my experience. I kind of expect more from your restaurant because I've been there and I know how great it is. But I feel I kind of was thrown to the wolves that night when I had people there and I was trying to impress them, and our bill was a lot lot of money.
So what did they do?
And when I say a lot of money,
you need to say,
so
when she called, she was calling to get the email address.
Yes, I was calling to get the email address, and the girl's I was hi, I'm because they didn't have it online, which I was surprised. So when I called, the girl that answered, I was just hi, can I get the manager's email address? And she was oh, sure. Can you hang on for 1 second? So I just thought she was busy doing something. So I'm sure. Next thing you know, hi, this is Brian, the manager. I was so caught off guard because, you know me, I need to think this through. I can't just, I didn't even know what I was trying to say to him. And, at one point I even said to him, listen, you could hear it in my voice. I'm not a complainer. I'm but I really want you to know, I expect more because I want to come back to your restaurant.
Yeah.
If I didn't love your restaurant, I wouldn't have taken the time to call you. I just wouldn't have came back.
Yeah.
I'm but I plan on, I'll come back next week. I just don't want to deal with this again. And and I know people, complain. My bill was high that night. We didn't drink much. It was basically just food. And I said to him, I'm I don't mind spending the money. $1,000 bill for me, I know that's not all for food. I'm spending $1,000 on the experience, the service, the atmosphere, the food, but when I didn't get any of that except for the food being great, it kind of just turned me off a little bit. So and I said to him, I'm like, and I want to be clear, I don't want anything. Like, don't send me a gift card. Like, don't, and he was great. And then at the end, he was like, well, I know you said you don't want anything, but I want you to know I put something on your account. So the next time you come in, we will do something special for you. So
that's nice. That's great of him.
Yeah.
And I think that that's ultimately like,
but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like people that do reach out, it's because they do care and they want to come back and they want you to make it right.
Yep.
Like, they don't want to give up. Like, they're not calling just to be like, your salon sucks, your people suck, I hate you, and I'm never coming back. Yeah. They want you to be the calm. They want you to, provide the solution, and they want you to make them feel wanted to come back.
Not only that, they want you to improve. What other scenarios have we dealt with?
Well, the man that came in and walked straight past our front desk, straight down our salon floor, went to the bathroom, opened the door, dropped those drawers, and just started doing his business.
And left the door wide open.
Wide open. He had no shame in his game.
I got the phone call that night. It was like, Pod, I'm calling you from the office. I locked the door. And they start getting into this situation that we're scared. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on right now? And he was definitely drinking, and it was at the end of the night. He was probably at Bonefish. But yeah, I'm like, oh my God. And some of these situations are just wild.
Yeah. We recently had some clients come in with 6 children and try to receive services while the kids were, and they were very not well behaved. And that's I feel can be a touchy subject because, parents are parents. They're protective of their kids. And if they're not disciplining them and you try to discipline them, then they get pissed off. Yeah. So what wound up happening is we had to ask them to either go in their car to process for their color because they were trying to sit in clients' laps. This was out of control. It wasn't just they were pumping the chair. It was they were interfering with other guests' experience to the point where we had complaints after they left.
This wasn't my kids, right? Because I had my kids up at the salon the one day, and I look over and they're pushing the chair up and down, and I'm like, "You guys knew better."
Beyond.
And I'm talking to a client, and I'm giving them the eye, what's coming.
This is beyond.
And they're smiling at me they're on a carnival ride, and I'm just stop it.
Yeah. But we eventually had to ask them to leave and not get the rest of their services done because it was out of control. And luckily they didn't.
Remember we had that issue at the suites too. There was a situation that happened down there that someone had several kids they would bring with them.
Oh, yeah.
And they would just cause complete chaos in the hallways and disrupt the other service providers, and it became a thing.
Yeah.
So I think that this is probably a common situation where it's difficult to handle because like you said, you don't want to offend them, but also I have a bunch of other people here that are trying to enjoy their experience. So
right, and paying a lot of money to get their self-care done,
It could definitely be frustrating. Me, when I've seen people in there with a baby that's crying or a little kid. I'll go out with them there.
That is nothing compared to this.
But I'm saying I'll go out and I'll play with the kid or I'll can I hold your baby? And I love to I do that. But that's if I'm there.
Next up on the list.
So this is what I wanted to talk about. And I actually was talking to a couple of the girls in the break room the other day. So I praise transparency and how important it is, and I tried to put it in a perspective, and I was telling them all, and they were all oh wow, that makes sense. So I was at I don't know if I told you the story, but I told you when I was at the playground and I ran into one of our clients. So I ran into one of our clients at the playground, and me and her were just sitting there talking, and I was asking her how's everything going, and she was oh, I was just in the salon a few weeks ago, and I was oh, I'm that's great. And I just felt there was something off, something she wanted to tell me. And I was how was your experience? Who did you see? And she was oh, well, she saw somebody different. So she typically goes to this one stylist. She's a level 4. And she goes to her normally. But she couldn't get in with her. So she booked with a level 1 stylist. And she's I didn't mind booking the level 1 because in my mind, I'm I know all the girls at Privé are great. They all can do it. I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to get I'll get a break on my price, if anything. It'll just be cheaper. And, who knows, I might end up loving this girl. So she's so I did go, and she was I was kind of surprised, at the end. She was because everything was great. She's I loved my hair and all. She goes, but when I got my price to check out, I ended up paying more with a level 1 than I did a level 4. And I was like, you did? And she was like, yeah. She's like, and I typically don't question. She's like, but I did ask, like, I go to a level 4 every time and it's always like so much cheaper. Why is it so much more with a level 1 right now? And they explained to her, oh, well, you were given a glaze and like all these add-ons that she typically doesn't get. So she's just like, I mean, and I don't mind paying it. I just wish that it would have been explained to me, like, this is what's happening, because I'm here thinking I'm getting the same services, but I'm getting all these other services, and then my price was higher.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm like, to the girls in the break room, I'm like, this is like a great example of why you need to be transparent, because like, how would you feel if you went to somebody who's at level 4, then go to a level 1 and you're paying more? Like, nothing makes sense at that point.
Yeah.
So it needs to be explained, and it needs to be transparent, and why.
The price transparency comes up a lot.
It's huge.
Yeah, and it just puts us as owners in like the worst position when we have these scenarios happen, because we have no choice but to refund them, because like, how are we going to charge you for something that you had no idea that it was going to happen?
Well, and that's like, for me, I didn't even know how to really explain that. Like, I kind of was like caught off
There's
guard,
no way to.
and I just was like, oh, like, I don't know why you paid more with a level 1 than you did a level 4. I don't know why you got a glaze and didn't get a glaze. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
This might be the unpopular opinion, but in my opinion, if a stylist chooses not to be transparent regarding pricing in the consultation, that needs to come off of them.
And that's what we do.
That's not my
That's
problem.
the only way that they'll learn. I think it's the only way that they'll know not to make that mistake again. Because it has happened to me in the past, and you know, I'll be like too much like in my flow of doing things and forget to mention that something is an additional charge.
Right.
And then when they bring it up, I'm like, you know what? You're so right. I'm so sorry.
and sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be in the consultation. Like, things come up, hair pull's different. They might need to add something.
Right.
Like, but they need to tell them. Like,
Right.
even if their head's in the shampoo bowl, like, hey, you know, to achieve the look that you're looking for, I need to add a little bit more, and I just want you to know this is what it would cost. Like,
Right.
I think people just appreciate that so
Yeah.
much more. So yeah, communication is key when it comes to price transparency. Like, it needs to be communicated, whether it's in the consultation or before you start doing everything else that you're planning on doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we quick mention, like, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I was absolutely disgusted the other day. This girl's like building a client base on TikTok around how much she charges for her services. Did you see this?
I didn't
The
see
extension
this.
girl?
The extension girl.
And
she starts
like,
it, it's so
she
gross.
starts it, come with me to do like a $6,000 extension
And
ticket or something
she has
like
this
that.
like she basically put like, would your dad spend $3,000 on your extensions or your service? And then she like she's filming herself doing this consultation, and I'm just like watching this, and I'm like, this is so gross. And it's like price gouging, and like you're building this audience on TikTok for you charging $6,000. Like, it's just
Well, wait,
insane.
my question is, what the hell does a dad have to do with paying $6,000 for someone's extension?
Because the dad was there to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's what the point was. Like, her,
So she took total advantage of a dad who doesn't know anything about hair extensions, probably.
Which,
because
speaking
I
of-
would love to tell that dad, like, you could have went down the street and got them for $1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wait, hold on. My question is like, what validates her giving a $6,000 hair extension?
I have no
like,
idea.
What does she offer?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about her to talk about it. I just was like turned off by the way she was going about it. But I will say, at least she's going over pricing.
She's definitely 100% price transparency, but she's built her TikTok audience
And
based
she has
on
a lot
like
of people
these
that go to her, I
shocking
guess?
ticket
Did the
prices.
results look like way different than normal?
I don't know. It's the same, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, is she like growing the hair out for these people herself?
I don't think so. Like, and I also think it doesn't take her like any less time than it takes anyone else, which would like, I would pay more if it took less time, because I feel like getting
Yeah, I would do
extensions
that
is
too.
like an all day thing.
I need to go down this rabbit hole and
Yeah.
find this chick. I want to
Okay.
look this up.
If I see it, I'll send it to you.
before
Send it to me.
before we move on, I want to talk about like just making sure your team is well versed in documenting situations that go down, because
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of times we get caught off guard. Like if a client wants to talk to somebody and the proper documentation isn't in like their client card, or it hasn't been communicated with any of us. So let's
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit.
Well, we even have like a release for like people that, you know, when they're advised against a certain, like, if we put this on your hair, if we try to do this, it's going to break your hair off. Like, and we advise them a million times not to do it.
Yeah.
And they are insistent. Like, nope, this is what I want to do. I don't care. I'll take the risk. I want to do it. Like, we actually have a form for that too. Just asking them to sign off that we're not liable for
Yep.
what happens, and that you've been told. And like, we document everything that we've told them, and and they sign
we
it.
have a lot of documentation. We have documentation for clients that want to bring like their extensions home with them. We have documentation for people who want extensions that shouldn't get extensions. We have documentation for people who want to get bleaching services but shouldn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just
there's
a way
a lot
to
of
it's just one way to
liabilities.
like
Buffer.
exactly. It's to me it's a very clear line of communication.
Yeah.
It's firm. It's, hey, this is what we talked about. I'm recommending we don't do this service, but if we do, or if I use the bleach, whatever, I just want you to sign off that I'm not liable, and we're not going to be refunding the service, and I'm not going to be doing your hair again next week.
Yeah.
That's like, and I wouldn't say we do that too often,
No, it's
but I
definitely
do think it's a
not.
powerful tool to keep in your toolkit for
Yeah.
these types of situations.
Can we talk about that one client who wanted to leave without paying? Scam artists.
Which one? The one that I had to.
What do you mean, which one? Was there
one-
multiple?
The one. What's so crazy is that I don't have the best memory, but there's certain memories where I can be back in my body at that time. And no, I was outside at my house, walking in my driveway, and like this is literally how I'm having this conversation with this
I
person.
remember you calling me and you're like, I'm pretty sure like my neighbors are going to call the cops on me because I was literally just in my driveway like screaming at the top of my lungs at this lady.
Wait, was this the gypsy?
No.
No.
Well, maybe. I'm not sure what she was, but she was very difficult. She was a problematic human from the gate. She always came in. There was always an issue. She was last minute canceling, telling us she called, but she didn't call. My appointment was at 1:00. It wasn't at 10. Like, just there was always a drama
She
around
just
her.
like made up her own rules.
Oh,
just
my
like showed
gosh.
up when she wanted. Didn't she like come in under like alias names,
she
like
had,
alias
there were like
names?
10 different
Oh, wait, she
profiles
was
with
young,
different
right?
names. So no, it was her and like 3 siblings or daughters, or there was like
okay.
4
I'm
of
thinking
them.
of somebody else that was booking under
was
like
the-
10 different
they
aliases.
all had these different
and we had to keep
names.
calling her and saying, like, you were already told not to come back to our salon. Like, you're not welcome here.
Yeah, that
so then
also
she would book like
happens.
3 weeks later at like a different location under a different name, and then we'd find out that it was her.
This is her. This is who we're talking about.
No, the girl that
yes, it is.
didn't have kids. She was young. She was in college.
Oh, no,
I
that was
agree.
a different
That
scenario.
was Dana's.
Yeah.
That also happens all the time where clients like we uninvite them from the salon
Yes.
and then they make up these fake names and then they
come
go to a
back.
different location.
I mean,
like, come on.
Which is how bold, because like for me, I'm like, number one, if somebody asks me not to come back to your business,
How
I'm gonna be
embarrassing.
I'm
so
going to Texas.
embarrassed.
I'm moving
Yeah.
like,
Like,
out of the state.
I don't ever want to
Let
bump
alone-
into you outside of anywhere. Like,
Yeah, that's so
No,
wild.
I'm gonna set up a
like,
fake name and a
teach me
fake
how to
profile
give
and just
no
come back.
fucks. Like,
But anyway, this client situation, which I do think we've talked about on the podcast before, it was always an issue. Check out. Oh, my credit card's not working. Oh, can I write a check? Oh, I have to run home. I'll be right back to pay. It was
And it
this type of
doesn't come back.
situation. So we were at our wits' end. I have had, as the owner, had personal conversations with this woman 2 to 3 times at this point about like, we're not a good fit. Somehow she weasels her way back in. So it was the last straw that the front desk had called me at home and just said she's at the desk going to check out on like a $500 ticket, and she's telling us that she doesn't have her wallet. And I said, okay. I said, let me talk to her. So I got on the phone with her, and I just was very blunt. I wasn't screaming, but I just was very blunt. I said, hi, blah, blah, blah. I almost said her name. I was like,
She is one of the gypsies that
Hi.
would come in.
blah, blah, blah.
What is a gypsy?
I know, with the gypsy. Everyone's probably like, what is a gypsy?
Well, no, just gotta keep going.
So I was like, I just want to be very transparent with you right now. If you choose to exit our business without paying, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah.
Period. Like, that's where it went. And she immediately tried to, I'm one of your loyal clients. I've been so committed to your company, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you have been nothing but a problem for our company
Yeah.
for years. Like, to the
Yeah.
point where I appreciate the money that you've spent. I appreciate that you've been loyal, but you have caused nothing but chaos to the point where my team doesn't want to service you anymore. Like, it has been
She's the same person that a couple years ago, I remember I had just had Ava and I had to leave at like 7:00 at night to go up there because she was giving Cass a hard time.
yeah, she was
And
very
I had
difficult.
to go back up to the salon and deal with her. And then not only that, it was like her 3 aunts were there, her niece, her daughter. Like there was a million of them. And it was just like every time I turned around, I was getting hit with another issue from them. I was there until after 9 dealing with her.
So that was the final straw. That was where I as the owner, let her know, you're no longer welcome back at any of our salon locations. I just think this is time for us to, decide that we're not a good fit. And that was it. And from there, we banned her through in our software system, and all of our front desk was notified. All of the team was notified, so that if she did show up with a different alias, which happens, we were prepared on how to handle that. So we were all like very clear on that specific scenario. But fun times.
What about like clients that cause scenes like in the salon, like as they're checking out? Like I can remember a specific scenario where we had somebody get blonding services done. She had like already compromised hair. She was leaving wet, and I think she like was up at the front desk and started like actually pulling the hair out of her head. Like it wasn't breakage. She was like pulling the hair out of her head, like screaming at the in the front desk area, and we had to like do damage control and like get her to calm down. Like I don't think she left without paying. We uninvited her from the salon. Like it was a nightmare.
Why was she pulling her hair out?
I'm pretty sure she had some like emotional issues, and it was just she had an episode at the salon, and it's really sad to think about, and to know that she obviously was going through a rough time, but it was out of our hands. Right. There's nothing that we can do in that at that point.
Yeah.
One more thing I can think of is how about the clients that sit in your chair and they're having like totally obnoxious conversations where like the stylist is embarrassed. They're like everyone around them can hear what they're talking about, and you're like trying to shut it down. So I'm sure that happens a lot. I'm sure people go in there because they think your stylist is your therapist and you can say anything you want. But literally there's 25 people walking by or sitting near you that's hearing what you're saying. So that can always be an issue.
Yeah.
But
did we talk about like clients disrespecting our team?
No, we haven't. And that's one. And the other one that I want to quick mention is the alcohol.
Yeah.
We've dealt with that over the years.
When they're like dipping out in the chair.
We've had situations with drug and alcohol where we've had somebody pass out in the bathroom.
Yeah.
We've had people be clearly intoxicated, not able to drive. And those situations are really difficult too, because clearly that's tough for us. I'm not somebody who deals with that on a regular basis. So I just don't have the proper understanding of how to handle those situations. Yeah. It's difficult for me as an owner who has some experience, let alone our team, to be handling that as well.
And be like, you shouldn't be driving home.
Yeah. So what we did implement pretty early on was like we do offer wine at the salon, and we have like a 1 serving protocol.
I think you can't give more than 1 drink legally unless you have like a liquor license.
Everybody needs to know that, because like you have somebody who came in after finishing a bottle of wine. I mean, we've had people show up with their own.
I remember one client that I had specifically who did show up drunk, had a glass of wine, asked me for more. I told her no. She asked another teammate for a glass of wine, and then she drove forward over the curb, but didn't like hit like I was watching her leave, and she went forward rather than backing out of the parking spot, and like saw her head like,
oh my god, that would have been so
bad.
I
was like, dude, what do we do?
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah,
it's terrible, because they really shouldn't be driving.
Yeah,
but like, how do you tell? It's really hard to say to somebody like, hey, you can't drive.
What about lice? Yeah, we've had a couple scenarios where we've thought it was lice and it wasn't, and that was unfortunate. And then we've had scenarios where it was lice. So I think teaching your team like how to compassionately talk to your clients about those scenarios, and making sure that they're like very on the down low, very quiet, not making a spectacle out of it. Obviously, I've coached some of the stylists to maybe ask like a team member just to come over to confirm, but being apologetic and like, hey, this is normal. It can happen to anybody. Like,
not making them feel like the whole salon's talking about them.
Yeah. They're definitely difficult situations that, can take a turn, but I feel like if you coach your team well enough, you can come out of it.
We had an issue at Newtown when we first opened. I remember there was like 2 high school girls that came in to get their hair done. I don't know what they were getting, probably blowouts or something. one of the girls had lice.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think our front desk ended up calling the mom because she was like really upset. And then the mom came and was like pissed. She was not happy. Like, I mean, and we handled it, I think, the best that we could have.
Right.
You know, but like.
It was embarrassing for the kid.
It is.
And like as a mom, like it's like, oh God, like your heart breaks
Yeah,
because
you do.
like my daughter is at this salon with her friend.
Yeah.
This happens. Like it's just like embarrassing and it sucks. And lice, like that whole situation just like blows. But listen, like full transparency, like I think lice, it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Like it just depends. It's
I'm
not
waiting
like
for my girls to come out with it because I feel like I get notified
That's
all
like-
the time with school, dance, like keep your hair in ponytails. I have the spray that you can buy at Target. I don't know if you guys know that, like fairy.
I
tail
feel
spray or
like I was
something.
triggered by like one of my girlfriends, her kids had it and in that moment, I like literally, as soon as I
convinced
found it, I
yourself
like
that
went
you
on
had-
Amazon and like purchased the kit. I'm
Yeah.
like, I need this on hand for when that happens. Like,
I know, because it's bound to happen, especially with girls with long hair and
Yeah.
sleeping over and stuff like that.
Yeah.
but
yes.
one thing that I'll say is that like when it comes to these situations, being fully prepared and like teaching your team about how you want them to handle it. One thing that I really love and I respect is when my team members, you know, I get the text at 7:30 at night, like, hey, do you have time for a talk? And I'll get on the phone and they just prep me. They're like, hey, I just want to give you a heads up. This situation happened today. I don't know where it's going to go, but I do want to let you know, like, I don't think she loved her hair.
Yeah.
She might be reaching out. And like
Yeah.
that type of communication's so good because then we're fully prepared. And oftentimes I'm like, okay, great. Thank you for letting me know. I'll have a manager reach out tomorrow.
Just to make
we'll do a
sure.
check-in and we'll, you know, just gauge the situation. And if we need to get her back in, we do. If not,
Yeah, that's great customer service.
Yeah,
But that's-
it's almost
that's
like you
top-tier
can
communication.
Stay ahead of it rather than like the client feeling like, well, I have to call, then I have to wait for somebody to call me back. Like, no, like we know there was a problem. What's up?
Yeah, exactly. And then like the software that we have alone, like there's no reason not to take pictures. Like you could take pictures and store it in their client profiles of what their hair looked like before and after. And here's, you know, all of the things that we talked about. Like everything really should be documented and clean because I think that sets you up for success when it comes to like unhappy clients or these
Yeah.
bad experiences in general or, you know, whatever. Every situation can be different. And I think the more documentation you have on it, the better off you are.
Yeah. I think we could sit here all day and talk about so many different scenarios and stories and issues that people have.
Wait, I want to talk about the ones that people submitted on our TikTok.
Oh, yay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Let's pull that one out quick.
So we had asked you guys for your craziest client stories, and we still are. I'm still interested to know like some of the craziest stories out there. So if you have any great stories that you'd love to share with us, drop them in the comments. But go ahead.
Okay, so we have Cecily Smith, which is one of our own. She said, one time a client asked me if she could have my kidney to give to her husband. And when I didn't give a response, she lay down on the floor using her purse as a pillow, screaming and throwing a temper tantrum. I need to hear more about this. Like, this is insane.
I just don't even want to hear about it. I just think it's complete bullshit. Like, that is just so far-fetched to me. Like, I can't even believe that even ever even happened.
The audacity.
There's probably
Like,
drugs
I
and
don't even
alcohol
hear, like,
involved there.
next. All right, next.
Yeah.
I could care less about this person and what drama they've going on in their lives. And they're, yeah. All right,
Wow.
next.
All right,
What's the
next one.
Where's the compassion head?
Listen, I'm the most compassionate person in the world, but I also have a low tolerance for bullshit. Like, if it's bullshit, you're not getting nothing from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And that's
next we
bullshit.
have Gemna. One time a grown man got mad at me after yelling at all our employees because I told him I'd love to help him, but unfortunately everyone that could help him out was now uncomfortable around him and angrily tossed a hammer off into the distance.
Why did he have a
Wait,
hammer in
I
the
don't
hair
know.
salon?
Did he bring the hammer?
Was he a contractor working in there?
don't know.
Oh my god!
But this is wild. But this is the
That's
truth.
scary.
Right?
Like, what do you do? Do you call the cops?
This
Do
is it. You get these audacious people that come in and they cause chaos. They cause problems. They're, you know, treating people disrespectful. And then they get upset that no one wants to service them. Like,
Well, also,
hello?
like, I feel like hair salons are like vulnerable spaces. Like, it's all women. So sometimes, like, men, like, will take advantage of that situation. Like, I feel like sometimes we have, like, random dudes show up in our salon and, like, the one time I was there, I mean, I was like, bro, you gotta go.
Oh my
Like,
God, I just
do you need
can't.
something? Do you a glass of water? Like, if not, get the hell out of
Still
here.
picturing him throwing a hammer. It's not funny, but like I read somewhere and it was like you should always have a can of wasp spray at your front desk in case like they ever need to defend themselves if someone comes in with like a gun or something.
Wasp spray.
Yes. And you want to know why they say wasp spray?
Because it shoots far.
It shoots 12 feet, so you don't get close to them. I'm envisioning this man throwing a hammer.
We got to
and
keep
someone
hammers at the
spraying
front
him.
desk. Screw
my
the
gosh.
wasp
Like,
spray.
this is insane.
This is wild.
This world is this crazy.
All right, the next one. So Megan says, I had someone nod out and fall out of the chair, followed by passing out in the bathroom with us, calling 911,
Oh, God.
then walked out without paying a dime. This one I feel like, I hate to say common, but these types of issues happen. We recently had one at Newtown where the client was she was sick. I know that she had rescheduled because she wasn't feeling well. So there was some sort of medical diagnosis happening there, and she came in. And they came into the office and let me know that she was like almost unresponsive. Like they were talking to her and she was kind of like not even able to verbalize. So I had to go out and talk to her. And she was an older woman
for a while. I remember just waiting.
And it was hard because she wanted to stay and she wanted to get her service done, but she was not in a
no
medical position to
condition.
do that. Yeah. There was a physician in there at the time, which was amazing because she involved herself, which was great. She asked, do you mind if I take a look at her? Because you could see she was sweating. She was kind of like
White.
nodding out. She was losing color. We were nervous. We did eventually get in touch with her husband who came and picked her up, but I was this close to calling the ambulance.
Well, hold on. Here's my question. And like, I'm very compassionate for this person to the point that they had to call 911.
Yeah.
But my thing is, and I'm not trying to knock the person that wrote this, but like in that situation, like you're really worried about them leaving and not paying. Like, what are you running out to the ambulance?
I mean,
and be
listen.
like, wait, can you swipe your credit card?
Listen, this could have been a $6,000 service in today's
I know,
market.
But like, I mean, for me, I don't care if it was $10,000. If I had a client going out on a stretcher, like, and maybe that's not the case, I don't know, but if you're calling 911, it's serious business.
Yeah.
The last thing I'm worried about is getting paid at that point.
I know, but
I
you
just wanna
also
make
don't
sure
know the
everyone's
context.
Okay.
This
No,
could have
I
been
know.
this could have been that she was drunk.
Right.
And she fell and she was an issue from the gate.
Listen, I know.
Like the context matters, and I think that if that's a
And
comment,
I will acknowledge that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know the whole background, but like just in my head, the picture I'm painting, it's like, oh boy,
Stretcher.
Like, she's passing out. She's on a stretcher. Leaving.
Would you like to leave a tip?
Do you need a tip envelope?
Yeah. Yep. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. All right.
All
But
right,
anyway.
well.
Who's
Yeah, I
sign-
want to hear what other people have to say, though. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know that everybody out there listening probably can relate to something we've
Yeah.
talked about or has their own story. So
Yeah,
please
seriously.
share and let us know so we can actually have another conversation about this.
I
'cause
was
feel like there's a
thinking-
lot we can talk about.
I do. I feel like this could be an ongoing
Yeah.
like thing that we could kind of get into every so often where we just
Yeah.
dive
It's like
through.
a rabbit hole that we could just every week check it out and see
The
who's
Karen
who's got
challenge.
the best story of the week.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Hit like, hit subscribe, check out our website. We got some freebies for you over there, and we will catch you on the next episode.